Well, good afternoon and welcome back to the Little French Homestead. My name is Sherry. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Today, we are going to be going through some of the vegetables that my mom and dad gave me. I'm just going to go ahead and rinse them off a little bit. They gave us some wonderful bok choy and some homegrown lettuce and some wonderful broccoli. Now what we're going to be doing though is the bok choy. All I'm going to be doing is just rinsing this off a little bit under some cold water, and I am going to go ahead and just put it in a Ziploc bag and freeze it. I'm going to make sure I clean the leaves off, get all the dirt. I'm just going to do another rough chop into it, and then call it a day. Now, also too, I'm going to kind of be doing the same thing with the, I'm just going to try to get a paper towel here. I'm going to be doing the same thing with the lettuce. We have some beautiful butter, or some Buttercrisp lettuce that he grew. But we're going to be talking, while we're doing this, about the upcoming Pantry Challenge. Now, I don't know if many of you know about this, but the Pantry Challenge is was put on by one of the YouTube channels called the Three Rivers Homestead, and they do a couple of actually pantry challenges throughout the year. This one here, usually the Pantry Challenge is usually at the beginning of the year. A lot of homesteaders, homegrown, and have a lot of vegetables and stuff that they have grown and canned over the year. And what they would like to do is use a lot of that stuff up, especially from like the year before they start planting their garden again this year. Well, if you guys all know and see, I don't really have a garden. I have tried, and it's not like I'm not gonna try again, but every time I try, somehow it fails. I am gonna try again this year and grow a little bit, but my dad has a green thumb, and he is thankfully retired after working many hard years his whole life, same with my mom. But he is a very successful homegrown gardener, and he grows all of these beautiful vegetables, and what they can't consume, they go ahead and give to us. Now, I would like to try and go ahead, and if I cannot successfully grow anything, I would like to at least go to like the, we have a couple of places where we can get, you know, local and fresh items. You know, pretty much like, you're like local flea market, farm swaps, and not farm swaps, well, the flea markets, farm swaps, and your local vegetable vendors. Produce, we have one of them that has some down the road from us. Now, I would like to go ahead and get into that, maybe buy like cases, and then I can go ahead and process my own spaghetti sauce and, you know, salsa, and get into more of the canning items. I cannot, in my little plot of garden, grow enough to feed our family. My two girls, the twins, they are the only ones in the house that actually like tomatoes. The rest of us all like tomato processed items, salsa, spaghetti sauce, marinara, all that stuff. And my garden is just not big enough for that. This is going to be used for the lettuce. But I just cannot grow enough. Even if I was to grow it, I can't grow enough. So what I would like to do is just to go ahead and buy it in bulk. then I can go ahead and process it on my own. Well, the pantry challenge does you know, something very similar to that. So what you would do is, when you've processed your own items, you go along and pick any month, but normally they usually started in January, and you would make a complete, you know, 1 month recipe of stuff that you and your family like, or, you know, you try something that's brand new. Now, I've already got my menu going, and I am just using whatever I have in my house, okay? When turkey was on sale, I grabbed a couple of turkeys. I got a ham. I got my big pork loin. So, still some chicken left over. So, I'm going to go, that's what we're going to do, okay? So, I've already gone through. I've sat down. I've written out my menu. I did have to get a couple of ingredients to make it all the way through. Now, the pantry challenge is designed to eat what you have in your house, but there are some times where you are able to bend the rules for you. So you would go ahead and, if needed, you know, like if you got young kids in the house and you need to have fresh vegetables and stuff, I mean, that is totally okay to go and get some fresh vegetables or some fresh fruit, if you still want to stay in that. But it's milk, creamer, you know, stuff like that. But it's designed for you to eat what you have in your pantry. Now, that's a great thing. And it also, too, helps you save some money. So, anything that was about to go bad or expire, you're going to want to go ahead and obviously eat that because you don't want to waste any money. A lot of us, including myself, I go down some of the aisles and I go, wow, this looks great. I'm going to make something out of this. I bring it home and I put it in the refrigerator, and you know, things pop up and you go, oh my goodness, I totally forgot about that. That's ruined. It's not good anymore. It's unedible. You know, if it's not moldy or too bad, I usually just give it to my chickens. But if it's beyond even the chickens, we throw it away. And it's heartbreaking because, you know, you worked and you spent all of that time, you know, investing in what you want to make for dinner. And then you go buy it, so then you're using the money that you worked for to turn around and throw it away. Now, before I go any further, I have to say, look at this big, beautiful head of lettuce. Isn't this gorgeous? Wow. This is why I love it when my dad gives us some wonderful lettuce. So what we'll go ahead and do is I'm going to give that stuff to the chickens. We're just going to go ahead and clean these all off, get all of the dirt and stuff off, and we're going to pack it up fresh. Now, you know, so you want to go ahead and do that. Well, like I just said, I have a tendency of doing that, you know, not all the time. I've gotten much better, but when my girls were growing up, I would constantly do that. I would sit there and go, oh, I'm going to make this, I'm going to make that. And then I don't make it. So really, really think about it. Make sure you have a plan before you buy anything. Because other than that, you're going to throw it all away. And it's really sad, but, you know, Americans really throw away so much food waste. It's not even funny. It's to the point where it gets a little bit ridiculous. Now, what you also want to do is, as you are figuring out your stuff, so you'd want to do, and that's why it's always good to have a inventory list already going. So you have seen some of my videos. I can post them up if you want, but I will usually go through maybe once, twice a month. And I will just go through when I get ready to make my meals. I'll look into I have 2 freezer chests. I have one that is normally for, you know, like breads and when I do like frozen vegetables, because we do have frozen vegetables, ice creams, you know, we have a little bin that I have, you know, any frozen cream cheese or anything like that. My soup starters, the soups that I make and we freeze, I keep them all in that one and I mark it all off. My second freezer is just full of meats. So anything from, you know, chicken to pork, and even my mom had given me some of because we had chicken for Thanksgiving. So what she would have done is given me the leftover chicken carcasses, so then I could go ahead and make my broth. And I have that put aside and it's marked broth. So what you're going to want to do is for yourself, go through, take an inventory. Everything that you have in your house, including everything that's in your back pantry or your working pantry. You want to make sure that everything is accounted for, okay? Then that's when you can go on some of these websites. There are some websites that actually you type in your ingredients and it'll give you a recipe using those ingredients. I remember my daughter saying one time that she likes to use all recipes. You know, you go ahead and, you know, type in, well, I've got chicken, I've got rice, and I got, you know, like green beans. And it will give you a whole recipe around what you have. So you can use that, print those off. If you don't got a printer, go ahead and just save it to your phone and use it that way. I have Pinterest. So I usually look up, you know, like crock-pot recipes, and I'll write crock-pot chicken or crock-pot pork, and then I'll print off those recipes. And I like to share them with you. You know, so go along and see what you have for your pantry items. See what you have for your refrigerator items. See what you have for then your freezer items. Because you want to make sure that you use everything that you can. And then what you use off of that, put the money that you would have had for your grocery budget, put that aside, okay? Put that in a savings account, put that in a regular account. You can then also to build up a little nest in case something happens further down the line. So you're just going to go through everything. Also to make sure you check the expiration dates on some of these stuff. Throw away those items that are too far gone to use. If you got like a little bit of mold on something, just throw it away. You know, if it's a item that was like way back in the refrigerator and you forgot and you don't even use them, then just don't go buy those. But if it is something that you use on a rotation, go ahead and pick it up again, but just make sure that you incorporate it in that month's meals, you know. I've done it before. I think we've all done that at some point in our lives, that we've gotten to the fact that we're like, oh, yay, we're going to use this, and then we don't. And then also, too, when you've cleaned everything all out, you know, your pantry and your freezers and stuff like that, before you go shopping again, that is the best time to go ahead and defrost, maybe clean out the pantry. Maybe that's when you do your second inventory again. See what you used, you know. Make then a grocery list for the next month, and then if you've used it and you like that particular meal, you know, put it in a rotation. I have found over the last few, I want to say like 3 or 4 months, that we found through Pinterest that there are other recipes out there that we absolutely enjoy. I was getting on a rut. Same thing that we do. I have actually showed my son not too long ago that there was on my laptop of, not this year, but last year, took a picture after I wrote out my menu. I took a picture of it, and then I put it on a worksheet, almost kind of like a spreadsheet, but a worksheet in my laptop. And I wrote down everything that I made that month, and then that next month, and then the next month, whether we did go out to eat, you know, whether it was a birthday or we celebrated something. And I kept track of everything. And there were a few things on there that I saw that was like almost every month that we did. I can tell you right now, my family to this day is still okay if I don't make any lasagna for a while. That year, I think I did either lasagna or a version of a lasagna, whether it was stuffed shells or, you know, ricotta cheese and something. And they were like, Mom, we're kind of sick of this. So I was like, okay. And I think that Christmas, no, was either Christmas? I think it was Christmas that year. My mom's like, hey, that same year, she's like, hey, why don't I go ahead and make a lasagna? And then that way everybody can have a little something. I was like, sure, let's go ahead and make a lasagna. And I think that was the last time we all had lasagna as a family. So this Christmas was like a year. And everybody still to this day is like, we're good. We don't want lasagna. And I hate to say it, but I'm one of those ones. I'm like, we are totally good on lasagna. That's okay. Wow. These things are amazing. You know, I didn't have one for quite a while, but this is so awesome. What I do is I just get a big paper towel like this. I will come up behind me, and I'm just gonna go ahead, pour this on here. Kind of let it air dry. And then what I do for my husband and my son absolutely loves fresh lettuce on his sandwiches. And my husband's been really good at trying to make sure he has a salad every day. So what I do is I will take this lettuce, still in a damp paper towel. I'll get a clean one. I'll wrap it up, put it in a Ziploc bag, and then I write the date on it. And it actually stays fresh for at least a good week and a half, sometimes 2. So think about that too when you're gonna go and make everything, you know, how you can prepare your items to keep them a little bit longer, fresher in the refrigerator. Alrighty. I mean, these lettuces aren't really that bad. He does a very good job at making sure that not all the lettuce has got dirt all in it. It's usually the bottom couple. All right. We're gonna go ahead and give this one a quick little spin. And you could do the pantry challenge for any month, really and truly, you know. I do know that it's usually the first, like I said, it's usually the first month of the year. There are some people that do several months. Now, I can't do several months. I'm sorry. I don't stock that much food in my house. I really don't. And also too, again, I really just don't have the freezer space to go ahead and have at least 2 months worth of food here in my house. I would love to, but I just don't have the room. If you've seen, I think I have shown like pictures and stuff of my house. It's just, I got the freezer chest here and here. We actually now have 5 kitties. My wonderful daughter who lives by Cocoa Beach, she asked if we wanted a kitty. because her cat had kittens, and she wanted to keep just 2 out of them, and they had one to see if they could go ahead and get rid of, and we said sure. This is it, I swear. So we now have 5 kitties. Her name is Jinx. She's all black with some little white paws. Very short hair. We have Sapphire, who's an all black cat with a little white spot here, and she's got medium to long hair. And then we've got Cinnamon, who is sleeping right there, but he is white all on the back, on the front, and orange on the back. We have Tiger, which is a tabby cat. We have Julia, which is a tortoiseshell cat. And that is it. So that's a lot of people here in this house to go ahead and manage and take care of. But I wouldn't have it any other way. I really wouldn't. So I'm going to go ahead and finish processing this. I do want to show my dad's broccoli. Now, I don't eat broccoli in my house, but the rest of my family does. Look at these. Aren't these beautiful? We are actually having these tonight with dinner. I will just have salad, but everybody else in my family will go ahead and enjoy this broccoli. So I'm just going to finish this all up. I'm going to take care of then the rest of this and just put it all away. I would just like to say thank you so much for visiting my home today. And if you like these videos, go ahead and hit like, share, but most importantly, go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and click that notification bell so you can get all of my updated ones. I normally go ahead and post, if you are new, on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays around 3 in the afternoon. And anytime I have a short video is usually around noon, okay? Though the days that sometimes I have a shorts and I will go on the opposite days of the regular videos, but sometimes I'll just do maybe 1 or 2 shorts. And then I'll usually post those just whenever I have a moment. Depends on when I actually made them. I am going to do a video. I've had a few people. Now, I do have some friends that really do go ahead and watch me, but they don't always like to go ahead and like put messages down below. And I've had a few of them ask me for like a behind the scenes, you know, because so usually when a YouTube channel we go ahead and set up, you know, we usually get everything already, or, you know, kind of the ingredients, and we gather things and start then processing the video. Then we have to go ahead and edit the video, upload it, you know, if there's any, if, you know, like if I did a silent video where I just show you what I'm doing and I have a voiceover, you know, I've had many people sit there and ask me for like a behind the scenes and stuff, because I have to tell you, one of my daughters who, she technology kind of freak, not freak, but a good way. She likes to go ahead and edit my videos every once in a while. And she goes, Mom, you know, it would be a really great idea for you to go ahead and show people this as well. And then that way they can see how you get everything all ready. Because I'm still kind of uncomfortable being here on camera, even though it seems like I am doing this seamlessly. I'm really not. There's times where I'm behind the camera before I turn it on, or if I turn it on before I start speaking, you know, I'm like gearing myself up and I'm prepping myself and like, come on, okay, let's go, let's go. So I'm going to be going ahead and probably doing a video like that, so then you can see what I do behind the scenes to get ready for a video, and we'll post that probably sometime in the beginning of the new year. But anyway, I just want to say again, thank you so much. I'll put some videos here and here for you until my next upload. You have a great day and keep on cooking. Bye.